You know, it's a critical warning for anybody looking into buying a camper van. I did ask them to comment on the rumour, but they declined to comment. For the last 10 years, we've all known the score. The campervan world has largely revolved around one thing, and that's the VW Transporter, the T6, the T6.1. It's been an icon, the standard. But that's all coming to an end. The era as we know it is finished. So the big question is, what comes next? We're actually heading into the biggest shake-up, the biggest unknown that the campervan world has faced for a decade. New base vans from Ford and Volkswagen, new technology, new layouts, maybe even new ways of powering our adventures with the introduction of plug-in hybrids and electric vehicles. This October's Motorhome and Caravan Show at the NEC isn't just going to be another show, it's going to be our very first look at the future. And I'm going to be on a mission to discover exactly what that future holds. And for me, this mission has now become very personal. I am selling my van. I'm starting with a blank slate, just like many of you might be. So I'm not just looking for what's new. I'm looking for what's good, what's genuinely innovative, and what's just hype. I'm looking for my next van, and I'm going to be taking you with me and sharing my thoughts in the process. If you're new here, I'm Steve, and this channel is Staycation Lifestyle, and I explore everything that's campervan related, vans, products and accessories. I'm completely independent and impartial. It is just a hobby, something I'm rather passionate about. I absolutely love it. And this year I've got 3 projects on the way. I've got a brand new campervan, a budget camper, and also a small camper. So if you want to be part of this and learn lots on the way to help you make those informed decisions, then please do subscribe. Your input in this is going to be very welcome. Now, I said largely revolved around the VW Transporter, and that's because there's more Transporter campervans than any other brand. When somebody says campervan, a lot of people generally think VW. And I do know that there are lots of other brands out there who do make great campers. It's just that the VW has just historically sold better, and it does hold its value much better than the others. So this mission, which I'm going to be faced with, let's have a look at what we're going to be seeing at the NEC. Now, a huge part of this is going to come down to the base vans. We're going to be seeing the brand new Transporter, the T7 in the flesh, converted by a whole range of companies. We're also going to be seeing a number of Ford Transit Customs, including some plug-in hybrid models, and these I think could be a total game changer for that off-grid camper, and I'll talk about that more when we're actually at the show. You know, we have already seen quite a few of these Transporter conversions in various different guises, but we're only just starting to see the VW qualified manufacturers release their vans. This will be the first opportunity that we get to see them all together in one place. And let me get something out of the way here. I give up. Yeah, I give in. Everybody is calling the new Transporter the T7, even though it has been said that it isn't. It is confusing though. You know, you search the multivan and you'll see that on VW's website it refers to T7 multivan. But the reference further within the website has now disappeared. Also, VW referred in press releases to the Transporter as the 7th generation Transporter. They also refer to the original microbus now being modernised in the form of the ID Buzz. So that means that ID Buzz is a T7. Yeah, it does. It gets really blurry. Basically, the ID Buzz, the multivan and the Transporter are all part of the Bully family, which are now in the 7th generation. So, like everybody else, I'm now going to start calling the new Transporter the T7. Although, I might actually call it T7 Transporter, just to be on that safe side. But actually, I did see a VW order form where VW themselves called it a T7 Transporter. So who knows? Let's all call it the T7 and let's just move on. Anyway, my first objective is to see how these great converters have adapted. So who is going to be on my hit list? Well, I'm going to be heading straight to Hall 11 to see companies like Vanworx, Jerba, Bespoke Leisure, Rolling Homes, Hillside, CMC Remo and Bilbo's. And I also think that Knight's custom conversions are also there, but in Hall 20. So I'm going to be making sure I head over there as well to see them. I want to see who's been brave, who's designed a genuinely new layout for these new vans, and who's just copied and pasted from the old T6.1 designs. I'll be looking for clever features, new materials, and smart uses of space. I'm going to be speaking to the converters as well and finding out why some of the prototypes featured some elements and components, but they've subsequently changed them. Why is that? It'll be interesting to see why they've done that U-turn and gone for alternative products. And we're also going to be looking for style. I'm hoping to confirm that rumour which I had from a dealer that Vanworx are building the new official Transporter Sportline. Although I'm not sure that they will. I did ask them to comment on the rumour, but they declined to comment. Fantastic news if it is true, and I do know that they are currently expanding the new premises, so I do believe it's a fact. As it's a VW Soul van though, I do expect that there are restrictions on what can and what cannot be said. Watch this space, I'll see what I can find out. And additionally, I know that Bespoke Leisure are going to be bringing a special Leighton Vans edition Ford Transit, which I expect will include the TUV certified body styling from Leighton Vans. They are another company who does the job right, making sure they get it certified before it hits the market. And hopefully they've got a kit as well coming for the new Transporter T7. It isn't all good news though. I have been disappointed to hear that two converters that I'm always really happy to see, EcoWagon and Bowden's, aren't going to be there. And their absence does leave a gap, especially with that Expo Plus not being there. Arguably the most highly spec'd medium van conversion on the market. And that's an example of how important it is to scrutinise exactly what converters are offering for the money. And EcoWagon always listed out all the components and costs, which could be quite hefty. But when you've got an electric pop top and VBR suspension and full Leighton's body kit and everything, it soon mounts up. The exterior of the van can be 40 grand before you know it. And speaking of the exterior, part of this mission is to spot the trends that will define the next 5 years. The adventure or swamper look is getting far more popular, especially in the bigger vans, but it is creeping into these smaller vans too. And I want to see if the new Transporter is going to have that four-wheel drive Panamericana version, because it is in Ireland in right-hand drive, so it could well be over here. There already is a four-wheel motion option, so is anybody building on that platform? We've already seen Vanworx have got one. They've got the Chesil, which has been built on the Transit Trail. That is the four-wheel drive, or can be available in four-wheel drive. I took that out a few months ago and really liked it. No doubt there's going to be one of those at the show as well. And they have introduced a few different colours, including interior colours, which look pretty smart, so I'll have my eye out for those. Beyond the looks, it's about that capability. And I'm going to be investigating who's leading the charge on this. How is the camper? Who's got the lithium battery systems, the smart digital control panels? Has anybody improved the heating and cooking options other than that double hob which we see on everything and we have done for the last 10 years? Is there anything new coming to the market? I expect that we're going to be seeing proper sprung bed systems in pop tops, which I do feel it should be standard in any of these premium campers. A plank of wood for a bed just doesn't cut it as far as I'm concerned. And of course it isn't just about the vans. A trip to the NEC can be about the gear to make the adventures possible. There's going to be the inspiration theatre where the people will be putting on talks, giving you inspiration on where to go, how to cope on the continent, cooking tips from top chefs and a lot more. There's going to be lots of other accessories which you can look at and buy as well. You know, you're no doubt going to be wanting an awning for your camper, and I feel that this is the best place to have a look at them. You've got pretty much every brand under the sun. There really will be awnings of all shapes and sizes, and you can go in and out of them to find out which is best for you. And the brand, which I often refer to as the Ferrari of the camping world, Isabella, they're going to be there as well. And they really do produce premium products, and I've used them for many, many years. The same ones, because they're just great and they last. Yeti are also going to be there. And I won't be buying anything this time, I don't think, because I've bought enough cups for pretty much every occasion, including my engraved one, you know, the one which I've got with my logo on one side, and then a heart on the other to represent the heart problem which I've got. And speaking of my heart, I don't know if any of you watch Motorhome Matt, but in his recent podcast this week, he's actually announced that he needs a triple heart bypass. So Matt, I really do wish you all the best, and I'm here if you want to have a chat. I do know from what I have suffered and what I am suffering that it's actually the mental side of things that really can be the hardest. So I'm going to come and see you at the show. We'll have a bit of a chat. Won't take up too much of your time, but yeah, Matt, we are all here for you. And I've seen some of the lovely comments. Literally everybody is here to support you. So really don't hesitate. If you want to chat, then just contact me, and more than happy to have a conversation. So moving on to a couple of other brands, and the Thule are going to be there, and I'm going to be finding the Thule stand because I need to have a closer look at the Alex dog crate, I think it is. I think I want one for Lottie, but I just want to see one in person just to make sure that it is going to be right. But I'm still not sure whether she'd go in it, but I'll have a look at it anyway. It's an excuse to go over to Thule. Just got the roof bars, got them over there ready to fit on my car. Yeah, if you didn't see the last video, I've actually gone electric, got an electric car now, which I do have to say, I absolutely do love it. Go and watch that video. I'm not going to talk about it again. I did promise, and I won't talk about it again. But there are literally going to be hundreds of stands and stalls which can be of interest. Duvelet, VB air suspension, rainbow screens, slide pods are going to be there again. They're going to have their removable kitchen and the bed system which they've got. Van Shades, who we know for the shades, but they don't just do the blinds, they also do other products too. And of course, My Rider. And by then, I might have decided whether I'm going to be going for the 20 or not. I am so close to changing that. So yeah, do watch this space. Yeah, more of that coming up in the future. But there is going to be, lots more tech and gadgets, lots of accessories, plenty of must-haves, plenty to tempt us into buying things which we never knew we needed. And maybe we don't, but we want them anyway. It is a very, very dangerous place for our wallets. Yeah, like all the Yeti stuff I've got. I always come away with stuff I don't really need, but it's cool. Anyway, with all this exciting technology, products and design, there is also a risk. In a time of change, it's easier for buyers to become overwhelmed and drawn into some of this sales talk. And let me tell you about something which I saw only this week. It's a critical warning for anybody looking into buying a camper van. I saw 3 vans for sale. The first one, it was built by Rolling Homes, the well-respected VW qualified, NCC and type approved. The base van, it was a 204 horsepower 4Motion with the diff lock, a DSG T32. A genuine top-of-the-range base van. A massive, massive chunk of the van's cost is right there. And then there was the conversion. An SCA roof, lithium battery, rib bed, inverter, solar. Every component was premium. And the price was less than 60,000. Now, onto vans 2 and 3. And both of these were from budget converters. And the base van was 5-speed manual, the Startline model. And remember, the price difference between this base van and the one from Rolling Homes is over £15,000 before you start the conversion. And then the conversion in these 2 vans, it was cheaper pop top, a plank of wood for a bed, the basic battery, an AGM battery, lower quality bed and furniture. But the price? The price was the same. Well, actually one of them was even more expensive. You are paying more for less. And this is the danger. People have unfortunately been paying more when they shouldn't have for absolutely years. They may not necessarily be a bad van, but it's knowing what you are buying. Research that spec fully and understand what is available for your money. It even happened at the show last year. I was waiting to film this van and somebody said to me about a price of a vehicle. 90 grand? It's 90 grand. It's exactly the same as the one over there. That was 60 grand. Exactly the same. And it was absolutely far from it. The 90 grand van was a much higher spec base van. It was 4-wheel drive with an automatic gearbox. And that's before it had even been furnished with the expensive set of alloys, which was several grand. It had a premium pop top, leather upholstered, lithium battery, both seats swiveled. Yeah, some don't. Digital control panel and lots more premium goodies. You really, really need to look carefully. Look carefully at the vans and go through that spec sheet thoroughly. You know, in this new market with the models which you're not familiar with, you need to be even more careful. You have to look past that shiny finish. You must read that spec sheet. You know, this is going to be a huge focus on my videos going forward. I'm going to give you that information so you can tell the difference, so you know what to be looking out for. So the mission is set, and I'm really excited. I'm going to be going in to find the future, find the innovation, find the quality, and find the real value. And I might just find my next campervan. I'll be sharing everything to discover right here in my show videos. And if you do see me there, then please do come and say hello. And do let me know in the comments now if there's anything which you want me to find out at the show. If you can't make it, then do let me know what you want to see. You can have a look at some previous show videos here. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you soon.